Hello students, I am Kavishri. Today we are going to deal with a new chapter, that is a software concepts. Where we are going to study about software, hardware and different types of software, and also different types of operating system which you have to learn. Okay. First we are going to study about what is hardware. Okay. What is hardware? Hardware is something the physical part of the computer. So it is a physical part of the computer which we can touch or feel. So it is a hardware. We have different types of hardware. There is a keyboard and CPU. In the CPU we have a motherboard, processors, RAM, hard disk. So everything comes under this hardware. So which we can touch and feel. So that is a hardware component of the system. So next we have the software. Okay, what is a software? A software is a set of programs. What is this program? A program means it is a set of instructions which we have given to the system to perform any particular task. So set of instructions means we have to tell the computer that you have to do all these things. Okay, you have to add or you have to subtract, whatever. All the instructions should be given to the computer so that it does all the instruction and it manipulates the data using those instructions. Those instructions are given with the help of some language. The language here, the language is something which it is a medium which is used to interact with the computers. Okay, computer ಜೊತೆ ನಾವು interact ಮಾಡಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ we need some language, that is a programming language. A software is a set of program and a program is a set of instructions which is given to the computer with the help of this programming language, and a software is the set of these programs. So we have different types of software, like Google is also one website which is also a software, and you have a Microsoft Office which is used to create any document, PowerPoint. So all these things are a software which makes our work easy. So we have different types of software. A software is divided into or classified into different types. That is the first one is a system software, a second one is application software, and third one is a general purpose software. In this chapter we are going to study about the system software and the application software. So and again the system software is further divided into operating system, language translators and common utility programs. So first we are going to study about the system software. So what is a system software? System software is a set of programs, or it is a set of collection of programs which is used to make hardware to work. Okay, what is the hardware here? It is a physical component of the system. So the system software, what it will do? It will make these hardwares to work. For example, it will make a printer to work. We will be installing some programs so that it will make a printer to work, hard disk and keyboard, monitor, everything is able to work with the help of this system software. And also what it will do, it will help the application programs to interact with the hardware. Okay, what the system software will do, it will makes the application programs to work with the or interact with the hardware system. And also the system software will help to develop the programs and execute the programs. That means it will help the programmers who writes the program. So they can write the program and execute the program with the help of this system software. So we have different types of system software. There is a language translator, operating system and the utility software. So next we have the application software. So here the application software is a collection of software which is used to do some particular task with the help of this system. Okay, system na use ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು we are applying those system to do some task. We call that type of software as a application software. We have some example for application software is MS Office. We have MS Office. We have games and cam scanner. So all these things comes under the application software. So application software is generally written in high level languages. It focuses on application, not the computing system. So system software, what it will do, it will mainly focus on the hardware and interaction between the application software and the hardware. So it will be the work of the system software. What application program will do, or application software will do, it will focus on a specific task. For example, we can take an example of a MS Office. Here we have we can do a PowerPoint, Word document, ಏನಾದರೂ contacts, emails, ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ನೋಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ we use this Microsoft Office. So which is used to do some particular task with the help of the computers. So that is application software. Here we have different two types of application software. One is application specific. So it is created to execute an exact task, particular task ಗೋಸ್ಕರ ಮಾತ್ರ we use this type of software. And general purpose software, it is not limited for only one function. So general purpose software, it is a software which is used to do lot many work, ತುಂಬಾ works na ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಆದರೆ application specific, it is only for only one type of the function. So that is about the application software. So next we have the computer languages. Okay, what is this language? Language ಅಂದರೆ it is a medium where a two persons or a two system interact. Okay, language, using this language, two systems interact. So in order to interact with the system, there is a need of language. We call that language as a computer language. So in the previous days, they were interacting with the system with the help of the zeros and ones. So adana now one type of language ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. So nowadays we are writing the programs with the help of Java, C++. This is a new type of language. So a language is something, it is used to interact with the user and the system. So we have to tell the system, you have to do all these things. For example, in order to add any two variables, ಎರಡು ನಂಬರ್ನ ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ we have to give those numbers to the, we have to store those numbers in the system, and also we have to tell the system you have to take this number from this place and this number from this place, and then you have to add that number and you have to store the result in this place. So these set of instructions which we are giving to the system should be written in this language. So adana ನಾವು computer language ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. So computer language are classified into two categories. First one is a low level language, and another one is a high level language. So what is this low level language? Low level language we were using in a olden days. So a system can understand only two values, that is zeros and one. Okay, it cannot understand any English or any other language, it cannot understand. So first thing, it understands only zeros and ones. So in olden days, all the inputs were given with by these zeros and ones. So our language, we call that as a machine level language, which is more understandable by the system, but it is not understandable by the user who is giving the input to the system. So that is a machine level language. Next in further improvement, we have a assembly language, and ಅದನ್ನ assembly language ಕಷ್ಟ ಆಯ್ತು ಅಂತ what they did is they start developing a new language, that is a general purpose language like Basic and Pascal, C. Okay, C you may learn. So C is also a programming language. Next we have specific purpose language like COBOL, Fortran and C++. So C, C++, Java, COBOL, Fortran, so all these comes under this high level language. So first we have the machine level language. So machine level language is in this type of language we have to write the instruction in zeros and ones. In olden days they were giving the instructions, they were storing the data with the help of this machine level language, that is zeros and ones. So here you can see the zeros and ones instructions which are given to the system. So machine level language is a fundamental language of the computer. It is written using binary numbers, zeros and ones. Zeros and ones, now we call that as a binary numbers. A program written in a machine level language is called a machine code. So in now programs we call that as a machine code, and the execution of this machine code is very fast because it is directly executed by the processor without any translation. So that is about a machine level language. So next we have the next we have so this is about the machine level language. So next we have the machine instructions. So in olden days they were writing the programs with the help of this machine level language, that is a machine code and the memory. So that machine instructions consisted of two parts, that is one is the opcode, another one is the operand. Opcode contains the operation code, that is it tells about what type of operation we are doing with these operands. Okay, it tells what type of operation we are doing to this operand. Operand is some variable agirbodu, some any value kuda agirbodu. So that is a operand. So that the opcode is further divided into opcode and also the addressing mode. So addressing mode tells where the data should be stored and where the instructions should be stored. So that is the addressing mode, and opcode stores the type of the operation we are applying on those data. So next we have the advantages of the machine instruction. What will be the advantage? So advantage ಏನಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ zeros and ones ಅಲ್ಲಿ data store ಆಗೋದ್ರಿಂದ the execution will be very fast because there is no translation process. So that's why the execution will be very fast. So it can be directly typed and executed and no compilation or translation is required. So that is the advantages of machine level language. So what will be the disadvantage? So everything what we are inserting, the data insert ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, the instructions what we insert into the computer should be converted manually by the user. So ಎಲ್ಲದನ್ನು zeros and ones convert ಮಾಡಿ then we are giving input to the system. The user should know, the programmer should know all the values of zeros and ones, everything he should remember. So then only he can give the input to the system. And another disadvantage is debugging is very difficult. What is debugging? Debugging means removing the errors from the program. Okay, ಏನಾದರೂ errors ಇರ್ತದೆ ಅದನ್ನ remove ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೂ ಕೂಡ ಕಷ್ಟ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. So these are the advantages and disadvantages of the machine level language. So next we have the assembly level language. So what does this assembly level language do is, so in this we have different mnemonics. So ಏನಾಗ್ತಿತ್ತು binary language ಅಥವಾ machine language ಅಲ್ಲಿ so everything should be written in zeros and ones. So that was a difficult task for the programmer. So what he did, so some set of instructions, he gave some names to those bits. Some bits he gave some names. For example, add gate, they give the mnemonic name as ADD. So moving, copying, they give the name MOV. So move. So either in mnemonics use ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು they were developing the program. So that type of program we call it as a assembly level language. So this made the programmer to write a program easily. The thing is he has to remember all these mnemonics. So the components of this assembly level language is a mnemonics. ಅದೆಲ್ಲದನ್ನು ನಾವು registers ಅಥವಾ moving ಎಲ್ಲ operations ಗೆ they gave some symbols. We call that symbols as a mnemonics. So assembly level language is a low level programming language that allows a user to write the program using letters, words, symbols called a mnemonics. Okay, so a program written in assembly level language is called a assembly code. So here assembly code ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. So here you can see the assembly level language program. So that is converted to the machine level language. That is with the help of this assembler. Assembler is a translator. Okay, assembler is a translator. So a translator is a program that converts. A translator is a program that converts this assembly level language program to the machine level language, which is easily understandable by the computer. So So ಏನು drawback, there is a need of translator to translate the assembly level language program to the machine level language program. So this is about the assembly level language. So next we have the advantages of the assembly level language. So what will be the advantage in a binary machine code? They were using binary values to write the program, binary values to input some data into the program. But in the machine level language, they were using these mnemonics. Mnemonics on suppose they were it was easy to write a program. So mnemonic code are easy to remember, easy to understand, and easy to modify and debug. Debugging, modifying, everything become easy in the assembly level language program. So what will be the disadvantage? The disadvantage is that they have to remember these mnemonics. That also become difficult for the programmer. And there is a need of translator which translate these assembly level language to the machine level language. So it takes some time. It takes some time to execute. So these are the advantages and disadvantages of the assembly level language. So next we have the high level language, which is a language which is more understandable by the programmer or the user. So it is not understandable by the computer, but it is understandable by the users. Okay, that is a high level language. So since the remembering mnemonics or remembering the binary values, it was difficult, they started developing this high level language. So what is the high level language is more readable form. Okay, it is more in readable form, and it is easy to write the programs, and it is easy to debug the errors. Okay, a language designed to make a programmer easier through the use of familiar English words or symbols. So high level language which is similar to the English words, so that's why it is easy to develop the program. So high level languages are used English like language which are easy to learn and use. High level languages are machine independent. What is this machine independent? So machine independent means we can transfer these programs to any program. So you want the system and you have developed this program, you can execute this program in another system also without any changes. So that is a machine independent. So we have different high level language program, that is C, C++, Java, Fortran, and QBasic and Pascal. These are some of the examples for the high level languages. So high level language program ide andre there is a need of the translator. Okay, translator ಬೇಕು ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ because a system cannot understand these high level languages, it only understands this machine code, that is a machine level languages, instructions written in machine level languages. So if we are writing the program in high level languages, then it should be converted to the machine level language. Then there is a need of this translator programs. So next we have the advantages and disadvantages of the high level language. What will be the advantage? It is more easier to develop the program and easier to debug. Okay, easy to learn and understand, easy to modify, debug the program, and it is machine independent. So next, what will be the disadvantage? So the execution may become slow because there is a need of translation. Now high level language and program baritive andre it should be translated to machine level language. For translation we have the compilers and interpreters will help you. So all these are translator program. It will translate this high level language to machine level language. So here translation ella agta irukare it takes some time for the execution. So it takes more time for execution and require more memory. And compiler is needed to execute or translate the source program to the object program. So that is about the advantages and disadvantages of the high level programming language. So next we have the language translator. What is this translator? A translator means the program which is used to translate the is also language translator is also a program which is used to translate one type of language to another type of language. So in computers, these language translators helps in converting the high level language program to the machine level language, which is more readable, which is more understandable by the computer, so that it executes those machine language programs. Okay, the translator translates high level language to low level language. There are three types of translators: compilers, interpreters, and assembler. So we have three types here: assembler, compiler, and an interpreter. Okay, these are three language translators. So first one we have the assembler. Okay, what is this assembler? Assembler is a program. It is also a system software. Okay, it is also a system software which translates the assembly level language program to the machine level language program. So assembly level language program we call that also assembly code anta ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು machine code ಗೆ convert ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. So that is a assembler. So you can see that the assembly language program. So we have move, str, so ldr, add. So all these things are the mnemonics which is converted to binary form. Okay, binary form ಗೆ mnemonics na binary form ಗೆ convert ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. That is the work of this assembler. So turbo assembler, Microsoft macro assembler, these are the examples for this assembler. Okay, what is the function? It is a system software. It converts this assembly level language program to the machine level language program. So next we have the compilers. So compilers is a system software or a language translator, and it is also a system software which converts this high level language to the low level language. ಈಗ C++ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವೇನು ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ಸ್ ಅಥವಾ ಜಾವಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ಸ್ ಬರೀತೀರಾ, that is converted to the machine level language with the help of this compilers. It also checks the syntax and semantics of the program. So ಏನಾದರೂ errors ಇದ್ರೆ so it recognizes. ಏನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಕಂಪೈಲರ್? It will convert all the whole program. The program which we are giving into the compiler, giving input as the input to the compiler, we call that program as a source code. A source code ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವಂತ ಎಲ್ಲ ಎರರ್ಸ್ ಅಥವಾ ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್ ಗ್ರಾಮರ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಈಗ ಕಾಮಾ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಬರಬೇಕು, ಸೆಮಿಕೋಲನ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಬರಬೇಕು, ಬ್ರಾಕೆಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಬರಬೇಕು, all these things is checked by this compiler. ಎಲ್ಲದನ್ನು ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಒಂದೇ ಸರಿಗೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಇದು ಫುಲ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ನ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಆಮೇಲೆ it will convert it into the machine level language. That is the work of this compiler. So we have high level language program na ನಾವು source program ಅದು source code ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. That is given as input to the compiler, and this compiler will give the machine level language program. We call that as a object program ಅಥವಾ object code ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. So this is the work of the compilers. So next we have the interpreters. Interpreters means it is a translator which translates the language from one language to another language. Okay, high level meetings ಒಂದು ದೇಶದಿಂದ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಮೀಟಿಂಗ್, ಈಗ ಹೈ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಮೀಟಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಏನು ನಡೀತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಅವರಿಗೆ they will be not knowing the languages. ಈಗ ಚೈನಾ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು ಅಥವಾ ಬಾಂಗ್ಲಾದೇಶ್ ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್. ಸೊ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ಸಿಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಲ್ಲ ಅಥವಾ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಲ್ಲ. ಇನ್ ದಟ್ ಸಿಚುವೇಶನ್ ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್ ದಿಸ್ persons as interpreters. What they will do, they will convert this language to their language. Okay, Indian language, for example, the Indian representative is delivering the speech in Hindi, then this Hindi is converted to their language, other language. Adana now translators na we call that as a interpreters. In the same way, here also we are using this interpreter. So it also converts this high level language to low level language, and in this the interpreter will convert the high level language to low level language line by line. One line convert ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಮತ್ತೆ next another line is another line is converted to the machine level language, and then it is executed. So line by line execute ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಕಂಪೈಲರಿಗೂ ಇಂಟರ್ಪ್ರಿಟರ್ಗೂ ಏನು ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಕಂಪೈಲರ್ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟ್, ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಕನ್ವರ್ಟ್ ದ ಹೋಲ್ ಸೋರ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಟು ಹೋಲ್ ಸೋರ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಟು ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಎಟ್ ಎ ಟೈಮ್, ಒಂದೇ ಸರಿಗೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಬಟ್ ಇಂಟರ್ಪ್ರಿಟರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಲೈನ್ ಬೈ ಲೈನ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಲೇಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಥವಾ ಕನ್ವರ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ ಇಂಟರ್ಪ್ರಿಟರ್. So a machine code produced by the interpreter is not saved, and hence to execute the statement again and again it has to be interpreted again and again. So in compiler and madutte, it will convert that high level language to source code, and that the source code it will be saved. But interpreter ಏನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಲೈನ್ ಬೈ ಲೈನ್ ಕನ್ವರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಪ್ರತಿ ಒಂದು ಲೈನ್ ಅನ್ನು ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಸೇವ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಏನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ನಾಟ್ ಬಿ ಸೇವ್ಡ್. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ನಾವು ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ನ ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ನ ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ದ ಇಂಟರ್ಪ್ರಿಟರ್ ವಾಟ್ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಡು, ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಡೂ ಇಟ್ ಅಗೇನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಅಗೇನ್. ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಇಂಟರ್ಪ್ರಿಟೇಷನ್ ನಾವು ಅಗೇನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಅಗೇನ್ ಮಾಡಲೇಬೇಕು, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ದಟ್ ದ ಸೋರ್ಸ್ ಕೋಡ್ ವಿಲ್ ನಾಟ್ ಬಿ ಸ್ಟೋರ್ಡ್. ಸೊ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸಿ ದ ಇಂಟರ್ಪ್ರಿಟರ್ಸ್. ಸೊ we have ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ countries ಇಂದ we have different persons who works as an interpreter, which the work of the interpreters are to translate the speech. Okay, ಯಾರು ಸ್ಪೀಚ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಔಟ್ ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್ ಇಂದ ಹೋಮ್ ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್ಗೆ they will convert, they will translate it. Those persons are called as interpreters. The source code is given as input to the interpreter, and interpreters will give the output, not an object code. Okay, object code na kodalla, adu then kodutte output. Directly it will execute the program line by line. So that is the work of this interpreter. So next we have linkers and loaders. What is this linker? A linker is the function of this linker software is it will link different functions of the program to the main program. For example, we have a calculator program. Okay, calculator program ante then we have different functions here. So like addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. So idralli ishtu functions barte. What will linker will do? It will link these different functions to the main program. Okay, the linker in other case it will link the different small functions to the main program. So next we have the loader. Okay, loader, what it will do, it will loads the functions and main program into the main memory. Okay, a loader is a system software that loads a machine code of a program into the system memory and prepares these programs for the execution. So programs na execute madake it should be loaded into the main memory. Thus loader will do all these kind of works. It will load the programs into the main memory, so that and it makes the program ready for the execution, which is executed by the CPU. So next we have the utility software, which is also a type of system software. System software only we have three types. One is operating system, language translator, and the utility software. What is the function of this utility software is it is helpful programs. Okay, helpful programs. So like deleting the data, disk defragmentation, user account security, ನೀವು ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾಸ್ವರ್ಡ್ಸು ಆಮೇಲೆ ಯೂಸರ್ ನೇಮ್ ಪಾಸ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಇರ್ತೀರಾ in order to protect your data. Okay, ಆ ಥರ ಸಾಫ್ಟ್ವೇರ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಆ್ಯಂಟಿವೈರಸ್ ಸಾಫ್ಟ್ವೇರ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಎನ್ಕ್ರಿಪ್ಷನ್, ಡಿಕ್ರಿಪ್ಷನ್, ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಯಾಟಿಂಗ್, ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಕ್ಲೀನಪ್, ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಸಾಫ್ಟ್ವೇರ್ ಅಪ್ಡೇಟ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ನೀವು ಮೊಬೈಲಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ನೋಡಿರ್ತೀರ. ಸಾಫ್ಟ್ವೇರ್ ಅಪ್ಡೇಟ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಅದು ಸಾಫ್ಟ್ವೇರ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಸೆಕ್ಯೂರಿಟಿ, ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಸೆಕ್ಯೂರಿಟಿ ಅಥವಾ ಆ್ಯಂಟಿವೈರಸ್, ಆಲ್ ದೀಸ್ ಕಮ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡರ್ ದ ಯುಟಿಲಿಟಿ ಸಾಫ್ಟ್ವೇರ್ ವಿಚ್ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ಸ್ ದ ಹಾರ್ಡ್ವೇರ್ಸ್ ಅಥವಾ ಮೆಮೊರಿ ಡಿವೈಸ್ ಅದನ್ನು ಕ್ಲೀನ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಅಥವಾ ಮೆಮೊರಿ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ, ಸೊ ಡಿವೈಸ್ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್. ಸೊ ಅಂತ ಸಾಫ್ಟ್ವೇರ್ನ we call it as a utility software. So this is about different types of software. Okay, system software kaltre, application software kaltre. So we have these are different types of software. So this is about first session. In this we have learned about software, hardware, so different types of software and language translators and also utility software. So I hope you have understood. Thank you.